Hi. Save me from myself.
Hola, Kai, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Estás bien? ¿Y tú?
Bien, muy bien.
Okay.
La pregunta es la siguiente. Si has visitado Bruselas y qué es lo que más te gusta como sitio turístico.
Yeah. Yeah, you can translate it.
Okay, if you have visited Brussels, and what place did you like the most?
The statue of the little boy who's peeing. I have never seen something that made me laugh and also respect it so much at the same time. It was artistic and hilarious. And I just think back to when it was made, that artist was probably like, this is gonna be so good. People are gonna talk about this, and they do. It's fantastic, and I love that he wears little outfits sometimes. Like they bring the different things for him to wear. What an answer. You asked me my favorite part of the city, and I say the boy who's pissing. But really, I thought it's so unique to the city. But the whole city is beautiful, and the architecture is so lovely. And just Europe in general makes me so excited because our country is so young. So nothing is older than 200-300 years anywhere. Anything man-made, at least. And then you look at everything here is so old and has so much history. So yeah, that's my answer.
La última pregunta.
Yes,
¿Qué has,
sí.
¿Qué has podido comer aquí en Bruselas y qué qué plato te gusta más, el plato belga de
If you have eaten Belgian food, and what did you like about the food?
About the food?
chocolate?
Oh, the chocolate. Oh my, I told you. I literally, I sat in that room and just got fat for a minute. It was great. I just ate chocolate. No, last night I had the best burger I think I've ever had. What was the restaurant? Oh gosh. I'll get back to you on that. I'll find the name of this place. Because if you don't know it, you'll have to go. It's amazing. Yeah, I only got in last evening around dinner time, so that's all I've had. So the chocolate. Chocolat.
You should try beer.
Thank you.
You think I haven't? The beer is amazing. Yeah, how can I say chocolate when beer is an answer? The beer is very good, I would agree with you. Hi.
Bonjour. She's gonna ask in French, I translate.
Great.
Bonjour, je m'appelle.
Bonjour. Comment ça va?
Très bien, et vous?
Ah, bien.
Je voulais savoir si vous n'étiez pas devenu acteur, quel métier vous aurez bien voulu faire actuellement?
Okay.
A very good question.
After being an actor, what would you like to do if you are not longer an actor?
Am I not allowed to be an actor anymore? Daniel Gillies. Oh, I gotta go, guys. I get it. Careful. Run like the wind. Give him a big kiss for me. She's like, we will. If I was not going to be an actor, the other thing I think I would want to do growing up, the only other thing that I thought that maybe I would pursue is I wanted to be, it's so funny, I wanted to be a professional baseball player. And I sort of, for a long time, was feeling a little conflicted because my passion was, film and acting and theater, but I really loved playing baseball. And my dad and I that's how we bonded growing up, and that was sort of how he taught me, metaphors for life were all through baseball. And so the game was really important to me, and so in a lot of ways I sort of, by default, wanted to do that. And then I realized I was probably not a good enough baseball player, so acting it was. Obviously now I wouldn't do that because I've spent, I don't know, 10 years not playing baseball, so I'm sure I'm terrible. Maybe music. I might do music or write, something artistic. I love too many things in the arts to not be a part of it. So if I wasn't acting, I'd probably be writing or I'd be playing music or something. That's my answer.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Hey,
Hey.
I was wondering, Guy is a really intense character. So do you have a ritual to get down of your character?
That's a really good question. They just have a room, actually, of people they bring in that I can kill before we shoot scenes, and it just sort of gets me in. No, I have a playlist on my phone that is called Kai, a very original name, and it's just songs that have sort of some of it's darker stuff or like hard rock, some of it's stuff from 1994, a lot of Pearl Jam, but it's stuff that just gets me in sort of the headspace, and some of it's not all like evil sounding music, some of it's actually the opposite, but some of the lyrics somehow make sense to me, or like just the general feeling it creates is the character. And a lot of times, depending on what the scene is, I'll kind of just sit there and listen to music and sort of let myself get into a slightly crazy headspace. But I try not to freak everyone out too much, because if I walk around, I got it. Dang it. If I walk around set, talking to myself and stabbing pregnant women, I don't think that would get me more jobs. So there's a certain level of it that's just kind of right before we start a scene. I'll, sort of stand there and take a deep breath and think of everything that I have to think about the character and the scene and what's happened right before and where I am and what I want and all of that. But the music's the most interesting thing, probably. That I'll listen to stuff to sort of leave Chris and become this guy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm happy you like the t-shirt.
What?
Happy you like the t-shirt.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
How was working with the Carrie Diaries cast?
The Carrie Diaries. I love diaries. For those of you who don't know, I did a show called The Carrie Diaries, which was short-lived. It lived for 2 years. And I played a playwright who was not a murderer, and he was not a psychopath. He was pretty normal. He was pretty opinionated, so he was sort of mean in the end, but he was a good guy, right? Did you like him? I liked him. I thought he was a good guy. But yeah, I love that cast. Was amazing. And Anna Sophia, who played Carrie, is just the sweetest human being in the world. And obviously all of my stuff, with most of my stuff was just with her. And she's so sweet, and she's a good friend of mine, and they were all great. And I have some, like Jake Robinson, who played Bennett, and he's now on a show called Odyssey, but he became a really good friend of mine. We all still touch base and hang out, and Ellen, who played Mouse, she's still very much in my circle of friends, because she's good friends with some of my people. So it's interesting how you pick people up in jobs, and like you may come out of a show that doesn't go anywhere and doesn't do anything, and you're like, what was that experience for? And you may get like your next best friend out of that, So for that show, that was one of the things I took, was some really, really lovely people. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you enjoying Belgium so far?
It's pretty terrible, but I'm surviving. No, it's great. The beer, as these ladies wanted me to make sure I mention.
So my question is, how does
Yes.
it feel to be a villain but being loved anyway?
How does it feel to be a villain but being loved anyway? You guys love villains, though, don't you? In general. I think, I mean, the best villains, like the best characters in general, are sometimes for me the ones we love to hate. You know, that we like, oh, I'm so mad that he's doing that, but I love how he did it. You know, and the fact that they create, you know, the source of conflict, which is the whole show. Without conflict, it's just going to be, you know, Elena and Damon sitting on a couch being like, you want pizza or Chinese? And then the credits will roll. So it's nice to have, we love conflict, especially in this fantasy show. And so I mean, I love the character. I think Kai was so great. And I think he's a nice little piece in the Vampire Diaries puzzle. He sort of rounds out, he sort of brought a different energy to the season, the way that they wrote him, and the type of villain he was. It was a little new for the show, and I think it was, I mean, I feel so lucky to get to play him on the show, so.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Last question.
Aww.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
So you played a lot with Ian and Kat, and I was wondering if you have a funny anecdote or a blooper that you would share with us?
A funny anecdote or a blooper from the show?
Yeah, with Kat and Ian.
With Ian? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. There's so many things with that guy. And we had so much together too in the season. And we love working together, and it's always, you know, when we have serious, hefty material, we really get to sink our teeth into it and really work together and just enjoy playing the scene. But when stuff is a little more lighthearted, and some of the scenes, you know, a lot of the show is that, it's not always like heartbreaking and devastating stuff you're dealing with. So the sort of brighter stuff, there's always things where we would play with each other. And these characters hate each other so much that we got to sort of pick on each other and try to annoy each other as a part of the scene. Like I remember my first scene with him was the, oh no, it wasn't. It was the first. It wasn't the first scene. The first episode, when it wasn't my first day on the set though, but it was the one where he's already fought him in the grocery store, and they bring him back to the Salvatore house, and they're in the library, and he ties Kai to the chair, and he's got that fire poker and the bag of pork rinds. And I remember shooting that, and Ian's just, during the whole shoot, whether the camera was on him or on me, he's poking me in the penis with the fire poker, like throughout the entire shoot. And it wasn't like out of context, it was as a part of his character just trying to drive me nuts. And that sort of set the bar very high for how we were gonna interact on set. So we always found little things to throw in, and like ways to, like, I could touch him and that would drive him crazy as I walked by. Which is a lot of that energy of the characters that you get to see, is that sort of, we got to play with it, driving each other crazy in the best way, and it's so fun. Like when he would get me good during a take, whether or not it made it into the episode, it was just like, oh, that's so great. That's so great. So yeah.
Okay.
That's my answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it.
That's it, but
You
then
want to say
I'm
goodbye?
coming right back, right?
No, not really. Actually,
Not really.
No, Kat is not coming.
Tomorrow.
For now. Tomorrow you have a panel with Kat.
Tomorrow, we have a Bankai panel.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you, guys. You're so lovely.